Good afternoon, everyone. Back for another episode of our NASCAR chats. Today, we're going to break down the Daytona dual races, the Craftsman truck race from last night, set up a fantasy team, and kind of talk about the starting lineup for the Daytona 500 and the potential weather update that I'm watching closely because it looks like could be some issues tomorrow down there. So this is the what's up, Zay? I see you over there. Glad to see you in the chats. Hope your day's going good. It's another one of our buddies, One Take Zaya down here. If y'all notice all the channels we got scrolling at the bottom for our WTP Sports Dudes group. Different channels, different content on all of them. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you'll know when we're going live. We're trying to get rolling something every day. Different content, some basketball, some college basketball, some hockey talk, some NASCAR talk, some pro football draft and combine talk, stuff like a little bit of everything. We'll touch base on just a little bit of everything we can. So what we'll do first here is we're going to jump into the dual races that happened on Friday. And what the dual races are is they're two 60-lap races that after single car qualifying on Wednesday, they set the entire rest of the lineup for the start of the Daytona 500. You had two different duels, one at duel one, which sets the inside of the starting row, so all the odd number positions, in duel two, which set the outside of the starting grid, so all the even positions. And how it works is, the front row was already set with Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe because they were the top two qualifiers on speed on Wednesday. Thursday, you run the two races. The winner of the first race becomes position 3. Second place in that race and it just works its way down. And same with duel 2. Whoever wins the race starts position 4 and works their way down through the rest of the field. So we had, like I said, Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe were sitting on there, so they were already locked in. They really didn't have anything to win or lose in this duel. So what we went with was duel 1. And it's typical with these races where one of the dual races is very calm and relaxed and the other is not. And you never know which one it's going to be till the first one ends. When the first one ends, that was very calm, which means the second one probably isn't going to be. So the first one was actually pretty calm. Everything was kind of cruising along. And then we had a couple of incidents near the end, which NASCAR wants to finish under the green flag, not the yellow. So they did what they call a green, white, checkered, and you'll see this throughout random races throughout the year based on when cautions fall. So basically, it's NASCAR's version of overtime. And how it works is they get everybody lined back up, they run again, they take off, and if the leader gets to the white flag before another caution, then the next flag ends the race. If he doesn't, so let's say they get around to the backstretch and there's a wreck and the caution comes out, then they re-rack it and do it again, and there's unlimited attempts at that. Now, when the leader gets to the white flag, and then let's say on the backstretch of the white flag lap, there's a wreck, then the race ends right then if the caution comes out, and that's where the winner is determined. So there's a little bit to it. All these teams have backup cars also. So you obviously go down to Daytona, you're going to have 2 cars no matter what, in case you wreck the first one or it gets wrecked in one of the duels. So people like a Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, just they were running pretty good in their races, but it really doesn't serve any purpose for them to get into a wreck, because even sitting on the pole, if Kyle Busch were to wreck his car and had to go to a backup car, he now goes to the back of the field. So it's really not worth it for those people. And in dual race 1, as I mentioned, we had a few cars get into a couple of incidents. Bubba Wallace was involved in it. William Byron, the two-time defending champion of Daytona 500, was involved. A few other cars. Haven't got the full list yet on who is going to a backup car, which will shuffle the starting lineup that I'm going to give y'all at the end of this. But once we know the exact starting lineup, then, I mean, they'll send it out. But just know that whatever I give you could change based on if somebody has to jump to a backup car. So we'll just have to play that by ear. So that was the first dual race. Was really exciting, really interesting. Kind of ruined a couple of people's starting spots. That race was won by Joey Logano. He will start on the third position, and he actually won by being pushed. And if you've watched any of the races or listened to any of my other pods on this, you'll know that at Daytona, they push each other, not bump. They literally push each other. So he won it with a push from Ryan Blaney, who came in second. They're teammates, so it makes sense that Blaney didn't try to do something crazy and pass him for the lead on that. Let's just both start nose to tail, because that's how they're going to start the race. And it's really good when you have a teammate starting either right in front or behind you. Somebody you can trust to push you and do everything right. So dual race 1 was won by Logano, like I said. Dual race 2 then kicked off. And in dual race 2, it was a lot more calm. There was no incident in dual race 2. Just kind of, I mean, there was a few people getting bumped and shuffled out, but there was nothing really crazy that went on in dual race 2. That was won by NASCAR's most popular driver, Chase Elliott, which is fine. I mean, he's Chase Elliott's good too, but he won that duel. Like I said, wasn't really a whole lot, not a whole lot tore up cars out of that one. So it was pretty calm. Like I said, you're going to have one that is and one that's not. And so we set that up with Chase Elliott. So he's going to start fourth on the grid for the Daytona 500. It's the only event that NASCAR does this kind of qualifying with. It's always been that way. They've always done the dual races, and that sets the lineup. But every other racetrack is not done this way. And every other racetrack is, and even the Daytona race in the spring, they don't do the dual races. They just do regular single car qualifying. So after Thursday, we knew who was in and everything with the Daytona 500, and then everything shifted to the attention of the Craftsman Truck Series. Now, this had been a really anticipated event because Dodge was making their return to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series with their Ram. So this is the one series of NASCAR that has 4 manufacturers. The O'Reilly Series has 3, and the Cup Series has 3. That'll change coming forward in the next few years. But for now, they have 4, Toyota, Ford, Chevy, and Dodge in the Truck Series. And nobody really expected a lot from Dodge being the first race. They have no notes on their trucks. They just kind of have to wing it. But they did lead some laps. And then Tony Stewart was one of the ones. He came back to drive one of the Rams. Tony Stewart is a 3-time NASCAR champion also. So pretty good. Got involved in an incident. A guy lost control. Guy got loose on the track, tried to overcorrect and slid up and put Tony into the wall. Truck was just not repairable enough to make a minimum speed. And so Tony made the call himself. The crew and everything left it up to him. And he said, we're not racing for points. This is just a one-time deal. So he said, let's just get off the track before we do some damage to us or other cars, which is a very, honorable thing to do, is just say, look, we're out, and park it. So really commend Tony Stewart for that. I like Tony Stewart. He's been one of my favorites for a while. He used to be a part owner of a team in NASCAR, Stewart Haas Racing. He now owns his own drag team. He runs a NHRA team for drag strips, him and his wife, where she's actually the driver, but he's been driving lately because they just had their first child. So Super exciting race. This was, and I'll be honest, Truck Series is one of my least favorite racing series of the three. But man, it was really, really good this week. You had not a whole lot of big wrecks. You had a couple incidents with a couple of cars. You had some tire issues. It was crazy because you have your regular Truck Series drivers, and then you had like guys from the Cup Series dropping down. Carson Hocevar, Michael McDowell. These guys were all racing down there with these younger people. These are the younger future stars of NASCAR. And like it wasn't a whole lot of incidents, but it was just good racing, passing, just changing of the lead, passing for the lead. And then all of a sudden, near the end, when everybody knows it's going to ramp up, and it did, there was a couple of incidents, caused another one of those green-white checkers. The guy I like the most, Ty Majeski, drives the number 88 Ford F-150. He was like in 17th place. And then literally, just started passing people. That's just how important the draft is and getting pushed at the right time. Got his way all the way up, wound up I still don't know. I've watched it a couple times and I still don't know how exactly it happened. But there was another Ford, Chandler Smith, drives for Front Row Motorsports, and he was literally pushing Chandler Smith, and everybody that was they were in like 6th or 7th place at the time, and everything just parted. It was like Moses just said to the Red Sea, and they just went right on. And I say like the Red Sea, but they actually went to the inside. But he just pushed him right to the win. And it was one of the greatest finishes of the Truck Series I can remember seeing. I mentioned it to some of the other guys in WTP Sports Dudes that if you take from 1st place to 5th place, so 1st place was Chandler Smith and 5th place was John Hunter Nemechek. The separation was 0.069. So 0.07 of a second from 1st to 5th. To tell you how crazy it was, but you have to go to 14th place to find a car that was 1 second behind the leader. You're not going to get that in any other form of motorsports. These trucks were crossing line. It took forever for the official results because they knew the winner, but they had to take so long to sit there and break down who was second, who was third, who was fourth. It literally took till FS1's coverage went off. It still was saying unofficial results up top. But they came out with it, and it came out Chandler Smith, Giovanni Ruggiero, Christian Eckes, and Ty Majeski. And then, as I mentioned, John Hunter Nemechek finished 5th. So really, really, really good race. There's a guy who races named Brendan Queen, goes by Butterbean. He was a top finishing Dodge, finished 7th, very respectable for Dodge in their return. So it was a great race. I even posted to the guys, just go watch, look up the highlights on YouTube or wherever you can find them. And you don't even have to watch the whole race just to get, but I told them all, go watch the end of this race. The last probably say 10 laps, even, 8 to 10 laps. And you'll see why this is one of my, if not my favorite sport. It's just phenomenal to me, the amount of skill these guys have. So that gets us through Friday. Today, we have the O'Reilly series making their triumphant return to the stage. This will be on the CW network here in about 15 minutes at 5 p.m. and roughly 5:20, 5:30 after you do all the pre-race stuff. So run through it real quick. Your pole sitter for this race is Austin Hill, followed by his teammate Jesse Love, followed by Sam Mayer, William Sawalich, and Sheldon Creed round up the top 5. The next 5, and I'll just give you the top 10 starters, is Corey Day, Raja Caruth, Patrick Staropoli, who is actually a doctor, Tanner Gray, and Ryan Sieg. Those are your top 10. I lied. I'm going to give you number 11 because number 11 is Carson Quapple, and his crew chief is Rodney Childers, who used to be the crew chief for my former favorite driver, Kevin Harvick. So I want to root for him. I'll probably be listening to his scanner. And if you have the NASCAR app and you have the mobile version, the premium version, you can listen to in-car radios of all different, whoever you want. You can bounce around. You can do an all scan. You can listen to the radio broadcast, the officials. You can listen to all kinds of stuff. And I want to say that, but yeah, last year they didn't do it for the O'Reilly series or the truck series, but they are this year. So that's a big plus to me because I like listening to that stuff, seeing all the, different decisions they make, tire pressures. What are we going to do? How's the car handling? I will tell you, if you listen to the scanner and you have it on your regular like phone or a speaker or something, don't be surprised if you hear some words you may not want little ears to hear. Just throwing it out there. These guys have been known, believe it or not, to use a few words that grandma probably wouldn't like you to use. But sometimes it gets pretty funny when they start talking about each other. So next we're going to jump into the fantasy team and some other games. So I'm going to wind up sharing my screen real quick as soon as I can remember how to do it, because I'm not the smartest technical guy in the world. I told him the other day, I'm just now learning how to play the snake game. Let's go here. All right. So as you see, I have, let me go back over here. Let me go back to NASCAR's homepage. Now I'll click my little person icon up here. And it works sometimes, and sometimes you have to click it again. And then it comes up, my dashboard. I have 507 points already from doing all the stuff that I've mentioned before. So I'm already 1/10 of the way to free tickets. And we haven't even really done the first Cup Series race yet. So go to view dashboard. It'll bring up your stuff. But I'm going to click up here on fantasy. So I have Fantasy Live and 36 for 36 Fox, also on their Fox Sports app. You can do stuff here to win free prizes and tickets and stuff. I'll do it on my phone, but I'm just not good at it. So I'm going to start with the 36 for 36. And what this is there's 36 charter teams in NASCAR, and you can choose one driver for every race. So I'm just going to click on it. On a race like Daytona, that's such a wild card. You have a couple of drivers, and I hate to call anybody out, but Cody Ware drives the number 51 car. It is not a really good team. Cole Custer has struggled. You got some younger guys. I always put Cody Ware in the Daytona 500 just because it's such the wild card that you never know. He could be in the back of the pack. 20 cars could wreck, and all of a sudden he's in the top 10 at the end of the race. So I'm going to use him for this one. When you get the entry name, I'll use my name here, SEC Sean. What helmet do we want to use? Let's go with the maroonish one. I accept the terms and conditions. Don't even know what they are, but I'm going to accept them. And then you put him. That's not who I picked. There we go. So now I've got Cody Ware in here. So now I'm done with that. And like I said, it's just who knows. So then we'll go back over here to fantasy. Go to play now. You'll notice I have 2 entries. I created this main one here a couple of years ago. And this is the main one I play with. This one was created for the WTP sports dudes and anybody that follows, subscribes, and likes. It was password protected. But since nobody joined it, I just opened it to the public this morning. So we'll see what happens. You can also enter 5 more entries. You can have up to 5 per account, fan rewards account, but I don't see the point. So we'll go to this one. And it just shows you here. This is the one you need to enter. And then let's go back. Click here and enter. So what we're going to do, we're going to select a driver. So, and like I said, you got 5 drivers and a garage. And the garage doesn't do anything for you. But if driver 1 wrecks early in the race and it's before stage 3 starts, you can put your garage driver in and you'll get his points instead. So driver 1, I'm just going to go with the pole sitter plus. He's never won the Daytona 500. So I'm going to go with Kyle Busch. This is 20th or 21st start. I think it's his 20th. Maybe even more than that. But Dale Earnhardt Sr. didn't win it till his 20th try. So we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to go Kyle Busch. I'm going to take Ryan Blaney. I think Ryan Blaney's due. He's never won the 500, but man, he's been close and he's really good at super speedway racing. So I'm going to take Ryan Blaney with the hideous 1970s Ron Jeremy mustache going here. You older people will get that. Young people, don't worry about it. And then let's see, who else do we want to throw in? Like I said, Daytona is such a crapshoot for picking. You really want to pick a few guys, and then you maybe want to pick a few like the Cody Ware guy I mentioned, because you only get 10 starts out of 26 races for these guys. So you can't just use the same people over and over for 26. So I'm actually going to scroll down here. And he's starting 39th. He's really good. But I'm going to take William Byron just because he's won the last 2. So I'll take William Byron. And we'll click on, let me find. I'll take Daniel Suarez. I don't use him very much throughout the year. So we'll take Daniel Suarez. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go find my Cody Ware guy. This right here, this guy, Casey Mears. This is a really good story. He made it in through one of the duels because Anthony Alfredo's car failed inspection after the race. So he got disqualified. So he got in. Casey Mears used to race NASCAR a long time ago. Has been out of the sport for a while. Still races other stuff. But he came in and tried to do it. You could technically pick him because he's not going to run 10 more races throughout the year. So it kind of gives you a free one. I'm not. Actually, you know what? I am on this account. On my other account, I probably won't. And then in my garage, we're going to throw. Let's throw Cole Custer. That's not my wife's favorite driver. It's my wife's favorite named driver. She said he just sounds like a race car driver. She's out there yelling in the background. So I'm going to put him in my garage. So now my lineup set. You can see he's not going to race much. He didn't even have a picture. We got the outline of Casey Mears. This is the ghost of Casey Mears driving, I guess. Then you do head-to-head matchups. Now, each one of these is worth 10 points also. This is worth 50 points. This is worth, and I think it's worth 50. I'd have to go look. But it's where you get points for setting your lineup. Then you get 10 points for answering each one of these right. So Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin. Kyle Larson is not good on super speedways, but Denny Hamlin's starting so far in the back that I'm just not sure. I'm going to take Larson. This is a tough one. Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott. I'm actually going to take Kyle Busch just because I'm hoping he wins. I'm going to take Blaney over William Byron. Starting 5th, 39th. Williams won the last 2 Daytona 500s, but there's a lot of traffic and hope everything goes right for you. Bubba Wallace and Ryan Preece is pretty good. They're both pretty even type drivers. I really like Ryan Preece. He won the Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium. I really like this kid. I call him a kid. He's probably 28, but to me, that's a kid. So I'm going to pick him. And then you can even, if you have another entry, you can just copy them. So my roster is now set for Daytona International Speedway. So, and this down here gives you ideas if you're not sure. Like a hot pick is Ryan Blaney. It's not a hot pick because of the mustache. It's just a hot pick because he's good on the racetrack. William Byron's a great bet. Hot pick, Ryan Blaney. Use caution Larson. Use caution Tyler Reddick. Sleepers is Chase Briscoe, and he is a real big sleeper. He's somebody that I'm probably going to put on my fantasy lineup on my other entry. But it gives you ideas of kind of who to watch and who not to if you're not real sure. I guess while we're here, I'm just going to go back and do fantasy, and I'll just jump on my other one and fill it out real quick while we're here. So let's go to where are my entries? Your entries. I guess that big box that says your entries is what I should have clicked. Go to this one. Oh, that is the one. Never mind. Oh, no, there it is. Now it reset. Love technology. I am going to pick Chase Briscoe in this one. I'm also going to pick Kyle Busch. I'm going to be a homer and go down here and find my driver, Josh Berry. He does pretty good at these tracks. He's been involved in a wreck a couple of years ago. He actually went upside down in like on his roof into the wall. Pretty scary looking wreck, but climbed out and was laughing about it. And I was like, dude, whatever. I'm going to take a flyer here with Carson Hocevar. Got a lot of speed, just way. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. That kid's got a lot of speed and talent, but he is way too aggressive for a track like this. Let's see. Who else can we take? Let's find. Yeah, let's throw Ryan Preece in there. He's actually been airborne in the last 3 NASCAR races at Daytona. His joke is at least he can get, at least through the duels, he kept it on the ground. That's what he was joking about. BJ McLeod, this guy here, a family-owned team. Really, really excited for him to be in the race, but he doesn't have the horse. He doesn't have the cars that these other guys have. I'm going to take a shot with Connor Zilich, young kid. Watch him on road courses. And in the garage, we'll throw in. I'm going to throw Blaney in my garage. Then I'll come down here on this one. I think I'm going to go Hamlin, Busch, Blaney, Preece. So now my lineup is set for this. Go back to fantasy real quick, and I'll go do my. I already got. That's right. I only have one entry in this, so that one's already done. So now we're done with the fantasy lineups. That's how you set them. That's how you go through and do it. And it pops up and lets you know you're done. And you can do it on your phone too. You don't have to do it from a laptop or whatever. So that's how you set up your fantasy team and get your points. Come back over here. Let me look real quick. I want to see if it actually updates your points that fast. If it lets you know you're already in. Let's see. Nope. It'll wait till Monday. So Monday it'll update. Then last thing we're going to talk about before I go sit down and start watching the O'Reilly series is the Cup Series starting lineup, the full lineup for the Cup Series race. And this, like I said, could change. Probably pretty well set at this point, though, but we'll see what happens. Kyle Busch is your pole sitter with Chase Briscoe on the outside of the pole. Positions 3 through 10, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, who both won the duels, Ryan Blaney, Carson Hocevar, Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, and Michael McDowell round out the top 10. go 10 through 20, or 11 through 20, sorry. John Hunter Nemechek, who I mentioned from the Truck Series. Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen. Very shocked to see Shane Van Gisbergen that high on a oval / super speedway. Not really his. He's getting better at them, but he's a road course guy. Really, he's almost unbeatable on the road courses. So really, really shocked to see him that high. That could be a good sign for him and his team moving forward. Josh Berry, right there, number 14. Daniel Suarez, number 15. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 16. Casey Mears, 17. Todd Gilliland, 18. Ryan Priest, 19. Ty Gibbs, 20. 21 through 30 is Alex Bowman. Denny Hamlin, Cole Custer, Eric Jones, Noah Gregson is 25. Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Riley Herbst, Corey Heim, and Zane Smith round out your top 30. And then 31 through 40 is going to be Jimmy Johnson, former 7-time NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson. Connor Zillich, the young kid I mentioned earlier. Cody Ware. Ty Dillon, AJ Allmendinger starts 35th. Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain, BJ McLeod, William Byron, Justin Allgaier, and then Chris Buescher is the final starting position of 41. And Chris Buescher had a really fast car in the duel. He's one that got caught up. Him, I believe Allgaier, William Byron, Chastain, they all kind of, I think, got caught up in an accident. So that's why they're starting so far back. But the only other thing I'm keeping an eye on for Daytona is the weather. Right now, it looks like there's rain for Sunday afternoon in Daytona. Now, Daytona has lights, so if the rain came and left, they could race at night, which they've done numerous times. If it's too bad and it's going to rain too much, they will postpone their biggest race until Monday. And I hate when they do it because I'm always at work and they start at like 11 in the morning and it just annoys me. But I normally just record it at home and then watch it. So we'll see what happens. I would say keep an eye on it. If you get on like the NASCAR.com or ESPN, they'll give updates as to what's going on with it. Fox Sports will too, since they're the one broadcasting it. So I would just keep an eye out if you're planning on checking into the race or whatever, and see what they're saying about it and when it might crank up. But we'll see. I'll try if we know early enough that they're going to postpone it, then I'll try to jump on and do a quick little post on YouTube with it. But if we don't, then I'll we'll see what happens. What I don't want to happen is I don't want them to start the race and then the rain come. Because if you finish stage 2, then the race is official. And I don't want to have the whole stage 3 and we call the biggest race of the year because of weather. I don't want to see that. The teams don't want that either. I mean, maybe the guy who's leading at that point likes it, but even then, it kind of tarnishes it to me. So they do everything in their power to get the whole race in. And yes, they will race until 2 or 3 in the morning if that's what it takes. They've been known to do it before. It's insane. 2012, known as the Fire and Rain Daytona 500. That's the one where Juan Pablo Montoya ran into the jet dryer and it exploded. Pretty crazy. But it was a ton of rain and the race finished, I think, Tuesday at like almost 2 o'clock Eastern time in the morning. It was an insane race. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm going to go jump on and start watching the O'Reilly series. And then we'll probably try to give an update sometime tomorrow on that and an update along with the weather down in Daytona. Other than that, everybody have a good night, and we will see y'all in the next one.